At the beginning of this year, I came across news articles and a Reddit about Talon Nightwalker, who runs Northern Colorado Wildlife Center, and it was filled with sexual allegations and many other things. When I was an intern and then I worked as staff at Greenwood Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, Talon Nightwalker sexually assaulted me while I worked there. I also had interns who told me that they felt uncomfortable working with him, and I actually have a whole long story, but anyway, let's go back to this year. After I made a post about it, I talked to some of the people in this Reddit about him, and all of them, I had asked them, if anybody had gone forward with, police allegations or anything like that, and everybody was afraid to go forward and actually make any real reports or say anything with their real names attached to it because they were worried for retaliation. Well, guess what? I spoke up publicly against him, and our wildlife center did, and now my wildlife center's been raided, and we're being charged a bunch of fines. And the person in charge of special license, so when I spoke out against Talon online, 3 days later, code enforcement shows up to my house, and they tell me that we're illegally operating a commercial business, and that we operate too close to a school with wildlife, right? Well, code enforcement determined that we're not running a commercial business illegally because we're not, and then the Humane Society and zoning determined that we can operate from our location. And this was earlier this year, way back in March. This happened 3 days after I came out and spoke against Talon. Well, then our facility was just recently raided and everything, and special licensing, who's in charge of everything, they just came back with their report about our facility, and guess what it says? It says that we're illegally operating a commercial business and that we're too close to a school. Isn't that interesting? A nonprofit Colorado wildlife organization saw most of its board and several staff members resign this month as accusations against its director were made public. Northern Colorado Wildlife Center founder and director Talon Nightwalker is accused of sexual harassment and drinking on the job, the Coloradoan confirmed. Additionally, concerns over the organization's financial situation were raised by former staff members. The Coloradan first reported on this story December 24th. Nightwalker has not returned a phone call or email request for an interview from the Coloradan. The Wildlife Center's Rescue and Service Coordinator, Michaela Dunbar, spoke with the Coloradan about some of the claims against Nightwalker. Dunbar told the Coloradan many things posted about Nightwalker by anonymous sources on a Reddit thread were inaccurate, but did say there were 2 legitimate complaints made against Nightwalker that are being addressed by the organization. Dunbar declined to elaborate. Dunbar lives with Nightwalker and is in a relationship with him as well, according to Maddie Walchinas, the Wildlife Center's former program coordinator. Walchinas told the Coloradan the Reddit thread shows only a small glimpse of why she resigned recently. During her time with the organization, Walchinas said she witnessed Nightwalker's sexual harassment of volunteers and seemingly drunkenness while working and reported both to the board of directors. The board of directors attempted to dismiss Nightwalker, but that decision was not well received by Dunbar or Nightwalker's father, Bob Nightwalker, who also works for the Wildlife Center, according to former board president Lindsay Nemo. If they're not going to trust us enough to make the best decisions for the organization and the mission of the wildlife, and making sure all of our personnel, our volunteers, our staff, our board members are all safe, if the founders aren't okay with us wanting to do the best for our organization and our wildlife, we're going to step away, Nemo told the Coloradan. Northern Colorado Wildlife Center is still currently operating, and other wildlife centers like Rocky Mountain Wild Heart are no longer referring wildlife there.